to the cloud. Okay, hello everybody. I'm Rita, and I am the sub for the day. So, welcome. This is Yang Family Tai Chi Traditional Form Section 1. And today our new move is going to be single whip. But first, we are going to do everything from the very beginning through push so that we have a warm-up, and also in case you have any questions about any of the prior moves. Okay, so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go the same direction as you. Okay, think about getting your body aligned, head up, knees relaxed, hips down, hands by your side. Prepare. Opening. Rotate your arms. Come up to shoulder level. And then press down almost to the bottom. Grasp the bird's tail, ward off left. Shift left, turn right, all the way to the right. Step and close, shift and turn. Ward off right, shift right, turn the left toe to the corner. Shift your weight left, pull left, ward off down right, pull in your right foot, step and close, shift and separate. Roll back, rotate your arms, turn your waist to the corner, shift your weight back, turn to the other corner. Press, pull in the right, attach the left, expand forward. Push, square up your shoulders, flatten your hands, come back over a ball, you're at chest level, push to shoulder level. How did that feel? Any questions?
All right. When you do, I guess it's right ward off. What exactly are you doing with your right arm?
Okay, so if I'm at the end of left ward off, okay, what I'm doing is as I turn my left foot to the corner, my feet are now parallel to each other, right? My hands haven't changed. Then as I shift my weight left, I am pulling with the left and I have a ward off down with the right. Then as I pull in, I step and close. And I'm at a bow stance at the end. So one more time.
Yeah,
From left ward off, okay? I'm doing a different direction just so you can see my hands, okay?
Okay.
So I'm shifting right so that I can turn on my left heel and my feet are parallel, okay? Then as I shift my weight left, I pull with the left and ward off down with the right. Then I pull in the right foot, step and close, shift and So at the end, I'm sort of pretending I'm all in black, but my elbow is over my knee. Okay, so make sure your alignment is good. Okay, elbow over your knee. And your hand is, your right hand is almost shoulder level, but it's higher than your elbow. Okay. And this is below your right hand. Yes. Okay, so one more time. From left ward off, shift right, turn on the heel of the left foot, pull left ward off right, pull in, step and close, shift weight, and ward off right.
Okay, so there's a sort of a partial close, like,
So there is an open and close motion in Taiji, which we use everywhere. So if you look at it here, can you see the upper hand is kind of at shoulder level and the lower hand is like under the elbow of the upper hand? So this is close, and there are various kinds of open, but this is a very simple open. Open, close, open, close. Okay,
is
and
this, sorry,
yes,
is this open close different from the open and close that goes into left ward off? Like,
it is very, very similar. The slight difference is that if you do it from the side, okay, the classic open close looks like this, okay? But when you're doing left ward off, when you're at the bottom, when you start closing, you're actually showing a grabbing. So when you're here, you separate your hands. And then as all your weight goes on the right, you start to move forward. And then you close.
so the right hand is a little bit more out. It's not staying in the same plane. At
It's,
least
it,
temporarily.
it is not staying at the same plane primarily because you're going back to straight. So here, if you had not gone to straight, it would be in the same plane. But because of your shoulder turn, it looks like you're not in the same plane. You see what I'm saying? You're grabbing. So here,
So you sort of reach out and pull back in.
you're reaching out and pulling. So actually, ward off is, left ward off is actually a combination of a ward off and a pull. What is ward off? Ward off is this movement. It is the defining of your space. Remember when you did this? Okay. Ward off is stay out of my space, which is why you keep the space underneath your armpits and so on, because can you see, I want more space here. Okay. So ward off is defining my space. Stay out. This is a pull. Okay. So ward off is one of the most important moves in Taiji because ward off is the connection move. You're connecting with your opponent. So when you, in push hands, the ward off movement is you're getting under somebody and you're pulling their arm over, and basically you're breaking their elbow when you pull down and ward off up. Okay, so think of keeping that space, okay? And you see it most prominently in ward off right, because it's right in front of you. Ward off left, the opponent's to the side, so you're swinging up this way. Whereas ward off right, the person's right in front of you. So that's why ward off left and ward off right are not absolutely symmetrical looking. Okay. Are there any other questions? More than you wanted to know, right? Okay, so let's practice it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to turn around. Okay, head up, hips down, hands by your side. Relax. Everything from your neck down to just hang. Okay? This is prepare. Opening. Rotate your arms and come up to shoulder level. Then press down almost to the bottom. Grasp the bird's tail, ward off left. Shift left, turn right, all your weight on the right, step and close, separate, and shift weight. Ward off right, shift right, turn the left toe to the corner, pull left, ward off down right, pull in, step and close, shift and separate. Roll back, rotate your arms, turn your waist to the corner, shift your weight back as you go to the other corner. Press, pull in the right, attach the left, expand forward. Push, square up your shoulders, flatten your hands, come back over a ball, hands in front of your chest, and push to shoulder level. How'd that feel? The only thing that you should be careful about on push is when you've done press, you square up your shoulders and you're coming back over a ball. Can you see my back is still slanted forward? I am not coming back. Okay, don't come back because it puts you off balance in a bad way. Okay, so that's why usually in bow stance we say have that straight line from the heel to the nape of your neck. You want that shape so that you are really, really stable. Okay. There are 3 places where you are upright, and you already did one of them, which is left ward off. When you did left ward off, instead of being here, you're here. Okay. And the next move, we will also be straight up and down. The next move is single whip. I'm going to show it to you. Well, are there any questions on Aggressive Bird's Tail? Any of the prior moves? No? Okay, I'm going to show you single whip in the direction in which you do it. And then I'm going to turn around and do it 180 degrees from that so that you can see my hands better. Okay? So if you've already done push, what it looks like is this. So you end up straight up and down. And from the opposite direction, I'm done with push. Okay? So the difficulty with this move is the footwork. Okay? What happens is that after you've pushed, your right foot is facing the side. And where you want your right foot to be is at that corner there. So that's 135 degrees. So what happens is here you're at a good bow stance. So you're 60% in the front and 40% in the back. You're going to shift back to release this foot so that the heel can turn. And you're going to turn 135 degrees. And then you're going to come back, pull in, and step out for a bow stance 180 degrees from where you started. So the difficulty for beginners is it's hard to make that 135 degree turn. You have to have pretty flexible hips in order to do that. Okay. So what do you do if you can't make it to 135 degrees? Okay, just try it and see how far can you go. Okay, suppose you can only go to 90 degrees. Okay, there are several solutions to this, and you can take your pick. Okay, Master Yang says that if you can't make it to 135 degrees, get on the balls of your feet and move it so that this turns to 135 degrees. I think that is more difficult because if I can't make it to get up on both heels and turn, I think is more difficult than if I'm here and I have more weight on the back because I'm releasing the front and I can't make it to 135 degrees. What I found for most people, it's easier just to stay on the ball of this foot and move the rest of the way. And that way, you don't have to get off the heel of this foot. Do you see what I'm saying? So here, you can only make it to 90 degrees. This foot stays where it was, and you basically move the heel out of the right foot. And then when you release the front, you can come in and step out for a good bow stand. Now, the reason it's important that you get this foot pointed to that corner is that I want you to have a good bow stance. Okay, so how do you get a bow stance if you're stepping out? Okay, here, you're turning. When you come back, all the weight has to be here before you step out. If you are not pointed there, what happens is it's very difficult for you to step out and make a good bow stance. So, if you don't like any of the above, and you can't make it to the corner, just step. Place your foot where it should be, and then come out. So, how do you feel about all of the options above? So it's, listen to your body. What can you do comfortably? And don't twist your knee or do something weird. Okay. So when you shift your weight back, release this foot so it can turn on the heel, then turn. And however far you can go, okay, either go on the ball and go the rest of the way, or step. Just place it where it should be, 45 degrees. Then pull in and step out. So how do you feel about this? You think that it's doable? That
I find I can turn my foot 135 degrees, but
okay?
the minute that I shift my weight onto it, my knee hurts is the best.
Okay.
I look down and I think it's not aligned with the foot. My knee is going that way and my foot's going that way.
Yeah. Okay. So don't go farther than an aligned foot can move. You understand what I'm saying? If you think about your foot moving and your knee isn't going with it, then don't go there. Go only as far as your foot can go with the knee aligned with it. Okay? Then go the rest of the way, or pick it up and set it down. Then you're going to release this foot and then set it up for your bow stance. So that is the tricky part, is the footwork. So if you move your weight back, allow your front foot to pivot, then come back, release, step out, bow stance.
Do you have a moment in there after you pivot when the weight's on both legs?
So what happens is my weight is on the back. I'm pivoting. If I am, no, because if I am going to continue the pivot on the right foot, I have to have my weight on the left in order to pivot the rest of the way, right? If I'm going to pick up to step, I have to have all the weight on the left in order to pick up and step. So in any case, the weight's got to be on the left. It can't be on both. So that's the definition of double weighted. The definition of double weighted is that you have weight on both feet so that you can't move. Okay? The whole idea of separating empty and full is that you have one full leg that allows you to move the other leg, right? So you're here at bow stance, you shift all the weight to the back so that you release the front of your front foot, you turn, you shift back and release the front foot. Why do you release the front foot? Because it allows your hips to face the corner. Then you can pull and turn and step.
Oh, that's what I was doing wrong.
Okay, so
I needed
pivot.
to get the weight off of my left foot.
Get the weight off your left foot. Once you have weight on your right foot, you've got to get the weight off your left foot so that your hips can line up. Your hips have got to line up with your back foot. Once you've turned this foot around, this becomes your back foot. And so your hips have to line up with that back foot. And then you're going to have a bow stance, right?
Okay, so I'm leaning back at the same time.
Don't lean back. You never lean back.
All right, shifting weight back.
You shift weight back, but you don't lean back, okay? So here, I'm at a bow stance. I'm shifting weight back. How do I shift weight back? Can you see? I am moving my center of gravity back so that I can turn. And then I'm moving my weight. I'm releasing this so that my hips line up. Then I'm going to go into bow stance on the other direction. Do you have questions? So if you don't have any questions and you feel that you can get from a bow stance going that way, turn and release your foot, get your hips in the right direction, and then move to a bow stance in the other direction. Now, because we are not doing a slant, because we're going to be upright, we're going to open up just a little bit more. Okay, so instead of being at the corner, we're going to be a little bit more than the corner. And that gives us a upright stance. Okay, shall we try to do the hands? Okay, The first thing is you have a new hand shape. This is the hook hand. You see that? Essentially, you have your hand up and you gather your fingers together. Okay. Now, the function of this shape is twofold. One is you can use this part to strike somebody, or you can use this part to poke somebody. Okay, so that's why the shape is pretty, you're drawing your fingers together pretty straight, because if you have this puffy hand, you can't really poke anyone with it, right? You have to make that beak shape for your hook hand. And your wrist is up above your hand so that you can do this if you want to. Okay? So that's the hook hand. All right? So now, what are we doing with single whip? You were at push. I'll do it in the direction that you would be doing it first. You were at push. And as you move back, your hands flatten. Then you're going to pull all the way around. And then you're going to press down as you release the front foot. Then you're going to ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Standing, ward off, deflect, and strike. So let's just do the first half of that. The first half of that is you're at push, and you're going to shift your weight back. So as you shift your weight back, your hand flattens. Then, as your right foot starts turning, you're going to pull. Pull with the left, with the right hand following. So think about this way. Think about you have somebody's wrist and you are pulling them, and this hand has their upper arm. So if you have like a wrist and an upper arm and you're pulling across, that's the shape you want. That's why this one is bent more and this one is more straight. Can you see that? You're pulling. It's like a pulling and following as you come all the way around. Then when you get to the side, you press down. And then as you come up, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. The hook hand is at neck level. Okay? So let's try just that half. Okay? So should I do, let me do it the same. Well, if I do it the same direction as you, you can't see very well. Let's see how about, let's try this direction and see if this works. So I am pulling. Pressing down. Ward off with the left. Hook hand with the right. So at this point, my hips are facing the corner and I have released the front foot. My weight is in the back foot. Okay? So let's try that again. If I'm pushing, I shift my weight back, flatten my hands, turn and pull, press down, release the left foot, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Do it from this direction. Let's see. I'm not sure this would help, but we'll try it. Okay, so as I shift back, I flatten my hands. Pull and turn. Press down. Ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Okay, one more time. I'll do it in the direction you would normally do it, which is in this direction, even though you can't see that well. But push, shift back, flatten, hands, turn, press down, release the left foot, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. How do you feel about that? Okay, shall we go on to the second half of this movement, which is from, so if I were to do it this way, down, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. And the next move is standing ward off step. So here is where I step out for my bow stance. Then as I flatten my foot, I'm deflecting and striking. So let me show it to you one more time. If I'm here, so if I do it toward you,
I was looking at the angle between your feet and I was going to ask you if it was actually 45 because in the camera it looks more like.
it's hard from the camera because, okay, here I am 45 degrees.
Yeah.
And I am straight. So it would look like this.
Yeah, I think this is one of those 2D, 3D things.
Okay. So what you want to do here is as you flatten your hands, you want to show that one hand is pulling and the other is following. So you don't want to go like this. This is kind of zombie-ish. So you want to pull and follow. Press down, release the left foot, and then ward off with the left and hook hand with the right. Then standing ward off step, deflect and strike. Okay. Questions?
What point were you making your torso vertical?
At the very end.
Only at the end.
Only at the very end. So I'm here. I am turning. So I'm still leaning, right? I'm coming back. I'm making my hook hand. Standing ward off. Step, deflect, strike. Basically, this is when I go vertical. This. At the very end. And the way you go vertical is, instead of here, essentially, you're going to push your hip in. Can you see that? That makes your torso vertical. And at the same time, it turns your torso very slightly more than corner. Okay? Any questions? So how do you feel about the coordination? Here, flatten, turn, press down, ward up, standing ward off, deflect, strike. So when you're pressed down, ward off and hook hand, when you make a standing ward off is a ward off that's at 45 degrees. That's a standing ward off. Okay. So you make a standing ward off and step. Deflect, strike.
Which way are the hips supposed to be facing in the final position?
Just a little bit past the corner. So if you were in a standard bow stance, your hips are going to be toward the corner. But because I'm going to be more upright, I'm pushing my hip in and turning it very slightly more. Very slightly more. And that gives me my up and down stance. Otherwise, I would be here and I would have the slant, right? So in order not to have the slant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my hip in and turn very slightly more than corner. And that gives me a stable upright stance. So when you are at your end position, what happens is You're at a bow stance, slightly more open. Your strike hand is, so you're striking with the edge of your palm and you're looking through your tiger's mouth. So that's how you're lined up. Okay. So in terms of your gaze, you're pushing, you're looking that way. When you're turning, you're following the dominant hand, which is your left hand, because it's pulling and the right hand is following. So you're looking in the direction of the left. Then you're going to press down, and then the right hand becomes dominant as it makes the hook hand. And then the left hand becomes dominant when it wards off, standing ward off, deflect, and strike. So the gaze follows the dominant hand. Any questions? A lot of things going on, right?
I'm not quite coordinating all of it. I mean, I'm sort of fixing it after.
Well, that's what practice is for, right? So I'm going to do it in the same direction as you, since you know, okay, I'll do it in this direction, so you can see my hands. Here, push. Then as I shift my weight back, I flatten my hands. Then all the weight is on the left as I'm going to pivot on the right heel, right? Pull and turn. Press down. Release the left. Make sure my hips are in the correct direction. Then ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Standing ward off, step, deflect, strike. What do you think? What do you think, Christy? Questions?
I need to practice it a lot more.
Okay, this one really does require a lot of practice. So the important things are, it is important for you to get the footwork. So I want to make sure that you get the back foot to the 45 degree, because I want you to step out securely into your bow stance. Okay. If you are not 45 degrees, it's hard for you to make a good bow stance. So push. Move back your weight, flatten your hands. Turn and pull all the way around. Press down, release the left foot. Ward off with the left. Hook hand with the right. Standing ward off, step, deflect, strike.
I keep managing to do some little thing that hurts my right knee. I keep correcting something, but something gets it each time.
Your right knee. Okay. So how about if you just step it? if instead of turning, you just step.
It's not the turn, it's what happens after.
Okay.
It's when I go to put the weight back on it. Right there is where it hurts. Or I'm
So what happens is when you put your weight on the right, release the left.
is yours released right now? Like there's
Yes.
there's no weight, you're just tapping.
I'm released on the left.
Ah.
So in terms of the timing, when I come around and I press down, I'm putting my weight on the right, right? Because when I'm turning around, my weight is on the left. When I put my weight on the right, I release the left. So my weight, the dominant weight is on one foot at a time. Okay, because it's easy to twist your knee if you have weight on both feet. So here, you're at push. You have 60 in the front, 40 in the back. As you go back, your weight is on the back foot because you're releasing the front to turn it, right? So as you turn, your weight is almost all on the left. Then as you press down, your weight is transferring to the right and you're releasing the left.
Okay, so that time I transferred all the weight onto my right and I almost fell backwards.
Oh no.
So I think I'm using the left to balance. Maybe that's why I'm not letting go all the way.
Okay, so let's see. So here I'm almost all on the left. Then as I transfer back, I'm all on the right. Because I need to be all on the right and in order to step out.
And that time I didn't fall.
Can you, when you're transferring back to the left, you kind of swing your arms, is it more out? I'm trying to figure out that move. I got the turn, but
Okay, you have the turn,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Then I have a press down.
okay. Oh, you're going up a little higher. But see, I've got my left up higher instead of my right. I don't know how I've done that.
Okay, the left is just making a ward off. The
Okay,
right is, making the hook hand. So you're pulling, turning, pressing down. I'm going to do the same direction as you because I think that might be easier. So here, you're pushing. You're moving your weight back and flattening your hands. You're turning and pulling. You're pressing down and releasing the left foot. Ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Standing ward off step, deflect, strike.
got it that time.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to do it mirror image, but I was doing it the other way because I wanted to show you the hands. So it's a trade-off. Okay, so let's do it a couple more times going in the same direction as you. Okay, so we're pushing. Then I'm shifting back as I flatten my hands. I'm pulling and turning. I'm pressing down, releasing the left foot. Ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Standing ward off, step, deflect, strike. Yes. Okay. So let's do it one more time. Okay. Push. Shift back, flatten your hands. Turn and pull. Press down, release the left. Ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Standing ward off, step, deflect, strike. Good. See, all it takes is practice. Are there any other questions on this move or any move prior to this? Yes? No? Okay. Well, in that case, let's close class. And next week, Cheryl will be back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome.